most ill-conceived business podcast around, the Business is Bullshit podcast. I'm James Hornick. Joining me are two gentlemen. Well, one's here. Well, are you still in Florida, John? Is that what you said?
I am.
You're coming back once a month?
I am.
All right. We're going to have a reunion on your first trip back. I can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Anyway, my two best friends in the world, Jared Gibson, Jon Tsourakis.
Hey, everybody.
All right.
Friends.
Episode 20. Outbound is bullshit. You know, it's another sales topic, which means Jared had a lot of thoughts in the past couple weeks.
I mean, we all have thoughts on
I know.
Outbound. I think we all agree that Outbound's great, which we can talk about, but there's just it's gotten worse, man. And I don't understand, like 6 months ago, a year ago, like we all said, this is so bad, it's got to get better. And it's gotten so much worse. And it just gets worse every day. Something new that just screams, like, who decided to hit send on this? This can't actually be something that works for you.
I'll do a quick story to kind of start. I never do stories to start out, so
I'm sure this is a great analogy is going to come here.
I'll see how good John is putting an analogy together. This is someone we're doing business with. We're buying their product, right? So they have my email, but I'm getting LinkedIn DMs from somebody at this company. The first DM, this is like June 3rd. Looking forward to having you in my network. We've been a customer for 6 months. That's weird. Let me know if I can help. I love talking sales, GTM, business development, and how to use AI to make it all better. I'm like, also strange. We could be having a conversation like we've done before. I'm just letting this go, by the way. June 9th, I leave my calendar here if you're open to bouncing some AI ideas around marketing penetration and growth. I didn't respond. June 23rd, just bumping this up, smiley face. Still my LinkedIn direct messages, not like hitting me up over email or just like talking to me. And then finally, I'd love to invite you to our monthly AI GTM leadership roundtables. Let me know if you'd like to join. I finally respond, sure, when are they? Which point she probably realizes, oh, I've been spamming someone who we're actually doing business with for the past month with a crappy drip campaign. And so then it plays it off like, oh, we're having one in New York. We'd like to organize one in Chicago. That's why I was reaching out. I'm like, sure it was. Okay. Here's what's crazy. The day she sends that message, someone else at the company, happy to have you on my network. A week later, how's the week been going for you? And finally, just bumping this up. The exact, like a very similar drip campaign. So clearly this company that does like AI sales related stuff didn't even bother to like put a filter on their actual client list or pay attention to their own emails and stuff that go out to realize they're spamming their own clients.
It's tough. It's tough because I've been there, like exactly where she was.
Really? You literally emailed somebody that was already a client, like incessantly?
No, I think that there's supposed to be filters. Like you're supposed to, because this is LinkedIn, you're supposed to download your first degree connections and exclude your first degree connections from this list, like, or any clients. You should exclude all clients from this list. So there's ways that you can exclude people. So this does not happen. For me in the past, things have slipped through the cracks. So I feel the pain. What would annoy me is multiple LinkedIn messages. I treat LinkedIn as she kind of did a little bit okay with some of it, but like the whole of like, let's start a conversation and say, so what are you working on right now?
It was 3 to 4 messages. Here's the thing. I'm not completely tone deaf. Like 2017, I did connect and pitch. I think everyone fucking did, right? Like that was dumb. We all look like idiots doing it. We did we tried testing out an AI email tool this year just to see if after 1 week, we're like pulling the plug. This is bad. Like, I'm just like, this clearly doesn't work. It's not as good as they say it is. But to send 3 to 4 messages over your LinkedIn DMs is just like, that's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen, especially to someone you know.
It's a lot, man. It's too much.
Get one.
Like email.
You know what I mean?
For me, it's like, if you're going to do something like that, bring value to the table in every single touch that you have. Like value, meaning just give them something. Don't ask for anything back. And don't ask such cheese dick questions like, what type of AI products are you using internally with your company? It's like, oh, sweet. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me that. I can't wait to respond back to this.
The thing that annoys me the most, though, is like and don't get me wrong, like, I'm a guy, but where they have this like overly sexualized picture and they think that like that's going to work. You know, it's just like for whether it's a connection request or something else. And it does work. In certain markets. But like, I guess just being in business so long and just being sold so many times, To me, it's just like, nah, that tactic is not going to work. There's a company, I don't know if they're national, but I know that they're here in the Tampa Bay market. They sell like custom suits. And dude, they hire the hottest women ever. And they come in your office and they pitch like, oh, you would look so good in like this tweed. And like they have this like whole pitch. I don't know if it's
John's got an entire closet full of this shit.
I don't. But here's the thing. At a time, granted, they update their fabrics maybe once every 2 years. Dude, I meet a lot of executives and CEOs. I'm like, bro, I know exactly what happened to this guy because you can totally see the pattern. In any event, I think, yeah, there's an approach to it. And I think what you said, Jared, like, yeah, adding the value. But also, I mean, if they're talking about AI and like all this tech and all these things, like, why isn't their CRM linked? And there's some kind of
that's
like drag
the whole
down.
thing. Like you're telling me about AI, and yet you're sending out this like such a bad message. I didn't want to get completely off track because you actually remind me of something, John, that happened. So as we were looking to try to figure out, because we are doing Outbound right now, we're actually doing, sure. And we do have a couple things I want to say at the very end of this where Outbound can be effective, and we do have a couple best practices. We just want to shit on that all first. But as we were kind of evaluating Outbound stuff, we talked to this one company that offshored. And they had this really slick looking platform where you could track everything. You could load everything up. You could make sure you'd see every message that goes out, whatever. But they actually had people that would kind of oversee it. So we like the idea that it wasn't completely AI. There'd be someone like actually like making sure. And at the end of the call, the guy's like, okay, we need to get a different domain for you so we don't mess up your domain. I'm just like, okay. And what we do is whoever the outreach would come from someone. We found that like female names that are typically like, he straight up said like typically associated like white Americans would be like to get the best response rate, and then we would find like we could make a profile picture and put it on LinkedIn so it looked like a real person. And we just like started to like you were like 80% of the way to the sale with how slick the software looked. Like we're not going down that road of like deep faking people on like fake employees. It's like and like the opposite of what, but it's crazy is that this is what this company pitches. They feel like that last part of it is normal when it's like the weirdest thing in the world. And they undoubtedly have tons of customers that like, yeah, that sounds great. We'll get a better response that way.
Because people are just looking for like the cheapest or maybe not cheapest, but the easiest way to a yes.
Yeah.
Right. And damn B, if somebody was selling me and I like was building this relationship with an AI tool that like was not a human and I got to the end, and they're like, oh, I won't talk to you. I'm actually an AI. Like, you're going to be speaking with our business development rep, whatever. I mean, I don't even know how I would feel if that happened. Like, would I be like, fuck, that's good AI. Like, I need to use that. Or would I be like, that's bullshit. I'm out.
I mean, it's bullshit.
I don't think you would mind. I really don't.
I know,
think,
right?
Yeah, I think you just.
But if it's really good,
whatever.
we're not at really. I don't feel like we're at really, really good yet.
There's some companies like,
but it's definitely getting better.
Dude, hospitality, rental cars, real estate. Like I'm super impressed. The problem is where something gets hung up, and then you have to start like repeating something multiple times. There's a little bit of frustration there, but it's getting really, really good.
This is slightly off topic, but I was bringing up my talking points on deepfake personalization because that's also something I can't stand in this space. And Jared, this might be one of I saw you had a whole checklist of things you want to rant on, but nothing drives me crazier than when someone sends me a message that references something in a LinkedIn post or a podcast or something that I did because I have a lot of stuff online, obviously. And they really like this and they pulled something out of it. But I can just tell they didn't listen to this or read anything. They just used a tool to scrape something because if you tell me that you listen to my podcast and you like part of it, that means, but you didn't actually listen to it. Like that is a lie, right? No, I don't want to buy from someone who's lying to me in the first outreach. It's not clever. It's not cool that you use some AI web scraping tool. I can tell that you're not an authentic person. And that the fact that I think that people have a hard time but that's a lot of outbound these days. That's the companies are selling that ability as like a selling point. And what's good about their company and their software is that they're better at lying to their prospects. And that's another thing that's killing outbound.
I hear what you're saying, right? And I believe that there's tools like Clay we've talked about in a previous podcast. Mm-hmm. And if you can get a Clay engineer that understands how to build the Clay tables and enrich the data using all the tools that are available out there, like using LinkedIn, using company websites, using like what's top of mind for companies according to their like earnings report, whatever that is. And you can craft a message and then automate that to a group of people, and you can land meetings from it that doesn't look like, James, I think what you're talking about, like if you can make it look like it actually is from that person, most people are going to say absolutely, let's do it. The problem is that there's so much garbage like you're talking about. Saw your comment on James's post about this. Great comment. Yeah. This is what my company does. Here's my calendar link. And it's like, that's what's bullshit. That's like half-ass using Clay, which is it's a genius tool if you know how to use it. That's why literally there's jobs out there now that are Clay engineers. If you could use it and you could get meetings from it, you would use it.
Well, did you guys saw who was the guy who had the counter Clay post about how
why the fuck would you develop software where you need to just have all these engineers to do it?
Yeah, isn't that the point of AI, is that you don't need an engineer to set the whole thing up? Because that's why.
Well, if you ever jumped into Clay, I actually am taking a Pavilion's offering an AI school, and we went in, and it is Excel on like massive amounts of steroids. What the amount of input and commands and all this stuff you have to put in here. So it's very different than just using AI. I saw that post, and I actually somewhat agree with that post, and a lot of people jumped on it because I think that while Clay is a great tool, it's also ruining the outbound game because you've got people that are just like
you kind of contradicted yourself there. Like,
I don't think so.
If it's a great tool, it's easy to use. Yeah, if it's a great tool, it shouldn't be hard to use. That's the whole point.
It's a great tool, but it takes literally an engineer that understands how to use it in the right way. The problem is that you've got people like me that could potentially just learn how to use it.
It doesn't
overnight
fit the market,
and then try to. I think it could fit the market if done right. If not,
how's it ruining the outbound game though?
Because of what James just said. That person likely used like a tool like Clay, and that person was probably an amateur using it. But if you get somebody that is skilled and understands how to use it and do the outbound the right way, then I think that it's a great tool. Anybody that knows what that tool is probably agreeing with me.
And ladies and gentlemen, this episode is actually sponsored by Clay.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other piece of the outbound game, I think that it can also be used right. The most important part of any outbound like motion that you have in place is the actual list that you're building, and that takes time to build a list. Like building a list and just saying I want to get in touch with controllers and financial executives of small businesses in the state of Illinois. That's going to spit out thousands of people. Anything if you've got a list of over 100, the list is too big.
So here's where I'll agree with you is because I think the problem is that I actually think that personalization isn't important at all. I think relevance is critically important. And I think people try to they want a bigger list, which is inherently less relevant, and they think they can overcorrect for it by making it fake personalized. And that's the entire problem of this whole thing. Instead of having a type
fake though.
I mean, because you can't personalize at scale. It's impossible. Like you can't actually personalize something to thousands of people. Like it's not personalized.
Maybe
it's
not
fake.
Thousands, but it's just associations, right? So you have a buddy of mine, Dan Engler, wrote a book on it, and he's right about a lot of things. Like you have locality, you have like where you went to school, you have nationality. There's these things, like whatever that connection is between you and a person can create that just minute little connection of personalization that can just essentially
that's not personalization. That's a mail merge.
Yes and no. Yes and no. So here's what I'll say. I think that the old Saul, you went to Ohio State doesn't work anymore because
it doesn't work anymore.
But it did. It did work.
It did. Yeah. Hey, you like ice cream? I like ice cream.
Yeah, it had its time. But what I'm saying works today is coming up with a list of 37 CISOs of small healthcare health tech space in Chicago, and say that hosting a dinner at Chicago Cut on September 10th with 12 other CISOs. We're trying to keep it intimate. Let me know if you're in, and I can send you over additional information. You can automate that and build a specific list of people. That's going to get responses, right? But that's not, that is a motion to eventually sell those people, but that's not if you're interested in buying this, here's a link to my calendar, throw some time on.
It's a slower burn.
It's a slower burn, but it's interest, but it's also specifically calling out like things That literally could be just sent to me. If I saw that, I'd be like, oh, that actually sounds pretty cool. All three of us would respond back to us.
Well, I think that what you're hitting on too is that like having a call to action or something be like inviting someone to a personalized event with other people like minded are going to be there, as opposed to trying to pitch them on something night and day. Like, yes. I think we all met from going from events. Like, people actually, if you're just trying to drive people to meet other people, like in person, you're inherently, the personalization's on the back end. You know what I mean? Like, at least you're in spirit, whatever.
That's good outbound. That's the outbound that will resonate and that works, not the stuff that we see today where you've got the larger market formula, which I've talked about before, where it's got like a little around 3%, let's say, of people are in market to buy, meaning they're pain aware, they're solution seeking, their hands are in the air. This cold outbound play that's just reaching out to thousands of people with the same message is trying to be relevant and hit that 3%, right? Most of us are not that 3%, right? The piece of it is that 37% of people then are pain aware, but just aren't solution seeking yet. And then the rest of them likely aren't going to become pain aware anytime soon. So go ahead.
I think those numbers are irrelevant in saturated markets. Like he was talking about a bull market. There's some companies like that there's entirely too many businesses that are in that space and they're just like clawing at each other, right? And that's what most of cold email is, right?
Going after that 3%. That's what everybody's going after.
And I don't know if they're going necessarily after that 3%. I mean, there's just too many bad business models in specific sectors that are just doing outbound marketing. Hell, outbound cold email in general fits that. They can't, most of them, if anybody's listening to this and they want to interview their cold outbound people, say, hey, I want you to give me 3 clients that you had longer than 3 years. You're never going to get that answer. Because they can't retain them. They literally, it's just this turn and burn and then this attrition thing. So the point I'm making is there's not needs that these people fulfill in these markets, and it's just so minuscule. I wouldn't even say it's 3%. Like some of these businesses, I mean, they're only doing like a couple $100,000 a year, and they're not going to get over that because there's no good story for them to tell where they can actually even sell anything further. For outbound to really, really work in any capacity, it definitely has to fit that need, right? It has to be something that's unique. But also, there's got to be some kind of case study. There's got to be some kind of testimonial that you know that this thing works. Like those are the practices that these companies can employ to actually make something functional.
So isn't that product market fit? I mean, is that what you're saying?
I don't necessarily know it's even product market fit, but like anybody that's like cold emailing in like overly saturated spaces, like just don't do that. Let your competition just waste their time. You have to change your business model.
But then you agree with me. I'm saying if you're reaching out to 5,000 people, knowing that only 3% of those people are in market to actually have a conversation and are pain aware, damn the rest of the 97% that's not. So you're saying you're just spamming everybody else only to focus on that 3%.
If you're in a highly competitive market, then I don't think it's going to work. If you're in a low competitive market and you have like an emerging product, I mean, I say give it a shot.
This kind of hits on, I like that point, John. I actually wanted to start with this and I could kind of like slip my mind here. I think outbound in general is being propped up as being too important. I'm not saying that like we don't need outbound, but I think that way back in the day, before there was internet, before there was social media, before there was even email, you could go knock on someone's door, or you could call them. Like it's such an old, like there were 2 real channels, you know what I mean? And there's just so many more, like people buy things differently nowadays. They buy things from people they know, they do their own research, they hit Google, they hit ChatGPT, like tons of studies done that nowadays when someone has their first actual sales conversation, the buyer's mind's already halfway made up. The reasons why, I think I started saying this, there's 3 reasons why I think that outbound has an oversized perceived role in a company's go-to-market strategy. First is the bull market, which I think I might have said, and John kind of added to that. For a long stretch, it was like people just bought everything because the market was on fire. Didn't matter what you were selling. Buyers needed to buy technology products, whatever, from the 2010s through 2021. People kept building out their BDR teams, making them huge, whatever. The second thing I think in that too is there's always another round of executives or founders or whoever that run the old playbook. They want to go after every single channel. So here's another channel we should go after. Outbound's always one of them. So it's like, okay, we need to have an outbound strategy. We can't just do just content, whatever.
And when they bring that guy in, it's a big deal. Like, oh, fucking Randy knows outbound.
And
Like, oh,
that's
okay.
that's the last one, is that like there's this obsession, there's these old school people who've been doing sales for 20, 30 years. Like Outbound was always part of their toolkit. They think it's important, it's never going away, we always have to be the best at this. But reality, like I know lots of, like for us, our business was basically built on content, or the sales part of our business built on content and referrals. That's referrals and or relationships is 75% of how we get sales done. And that's also how we're also, our outbound is kind of focused on that. And then content is what helped us get us on the map. We didn't need to do any outbound to kind of get where we are. A lot of companies are like that, but there's this obsession that it has to work. So when it doesn't work, what do? Instead of refining things like Jared's saying, they just do more, spam more, send out more messages. Eventually you're going to get the numbers you want, but not after like you piss everybody off.
Think about, I guess when we were all doing cold calling back in the day, I mean, this is aging us a little bit, but like we were getting answers on the calls, we were getting responses in the email because people didn't have at the click of a button, they couldn't go and look at for 10 other competitors that do the exact same thing. Like if you were making a cold call and you got to somebody, you're likely the first person in the door, even though you know that you've got all these competitors out there. That's why you'd always get the question of, well, who else is doing this? Can you guys give me some of your other competitors? That question's not getting asked anybody because anybody can go on the fucking internet and find that information out in 2 seconds, right? But if you can get your foot in the door back when cold calling worked and you were getting, answers 3 or 4 or 10, like people are saying, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's have a conversation. You could schedule a meeting that way. Like now the internet, like again, James, you talked about, people are 80% of the way to the decision before they even talk to anybody. But nowadays, the buyer is very different.
The cold drop-in still works. I talked to a buddy of mine today. He's like head of sales for a construction company. I was like, hey, yeah, we're doing a podcast on like Outbound, and just kind of like picking it. He's like, what the hell's Outbound? So I was like, well, how do you guys get sales? He's like, we'll just walk in and we'll ask to speak to whoever the head of procurement is.
Who are they selling to?
They're selling to contractors, architects. They're selling to other building stores, right? Like suppliers. And I said, well, dude, like that's Outbound. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. And I was like, well, how successful are you guys at it? Like they dominate. They go in there, they hire, he's got an amazing personality. He goes in there, he's like super enthusiastic, and they're just aggressive. And in that space, like that works. But actually calling, I said, do you make any phone calls? He's like, no, hell no. He's like, nobody answers their phone. He's like, you don't want to let them know you're coming.
That's why I love the drop is literally inherently personalized. Like you are a person in front of them. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good point.
It doesn't surprise me either, because that's an industry where, well, everyone's in the office, first of all. Like, you know what I mean? It's not
that's
like
why
everyone's
I asked
working from
what
their
industry
homes.
it was.
Yeah. So,
you know what? The other thing about when we talk about cold calls, one of my many sales pet peeves, and I have a list of them that we can go over in a little bit.
Sure.
One of the things that are on this list is the cold calls. Nobody leaves voicemails. And maybe that's just me. Like if I'm cold calling, and my job is to cold call, like I'm leaving a voicemail, I would check my voicemails. Maybe I'm unique and because I'm zero.
Now they come over as texts.
Yeah, but like I would at least leave something. Like,
hey, I'm saying that's a bonus. It's coming over as a text message. Like,
so, I know. So leave it.
And if you left something that was actually funny, I might call you back.
But something funny, or like if I was cold calling and pounding dials right now, the play for me would be, and maybe we've talked about this before, but the play would be, James, hey, it's Jared over at Outworks. No need to call me back. Just want to let you know I'm shooting you over a quick email. Check out the email. Let me know if there's any interest. All good. If not, thanks. Bye. Quick voicemail to the point. The guy's going to, whether or not he's like, yeah, sure, I'll check that out in my email. Guess what? As soon as that email hits his inbox, the guy's going to recognize my name, my company name, and he's going to at least take a look at it. So it's a way to at least cut yourself through the noise that's out there. Give it a shot. If somebody left that voicemail for me, I would pay attention to the email and may even respond, even if it's a no. Yeah, I'm good. We're not interested right now.
I wouldn't either, but good for you.
All right.
Well, one out of three would. That's one out of three is not bad. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
All right, Jared, what's on your bitch list? Give us your laundry list of things.
You guys are all
you off.
You're gonna love this bitch list. All right, here we go. Cold calling with no voicemail. That's one.
There you go.
Asking me if I could use more clients.
No.
Hey.
Oh, dude, I hate that one, man. Hey, could you use 15 more clients?
No. I fucking hate clients. I don't like the ones I have now.
Shut up. All right. Asking me if I could. Okay, here's one. commenting on my post when you know they're there to sell. Like people that comment on posts just to be visual to sell. Like I know that's part of what the LinkedIn gurus tell you. Hey, if you go comment, then somebody else is going to want to buy what you're selling. I think that engagement is very important, but engage authentically, like showcase your personality. That's going to do a better shot of letting somebody potentially want to work with you than trying to sell in the comments.
So like, give me a comment where somebody's just trying to sell. Like, I mean, is it?
I mean, all the AI bullshit.
Okay. All right.
But there is a guy that follows me around that comments that I've called out before. You guys have seen him.
No, who is he?
Like he's like,
oh, what's his name
hey,
again?
have you ever tried doing that? That's exactly what my company does. If you want to talk, go to my LinkedIn profile. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like,
Man,
stop
that's
it.
aggressive. Dude.
It's so bad. All right. Quick question.
Quick question's been around for like 30 years.
You just got me there.
But it worked.
I was like,
it worked.
Quick question. I remember people using quick question when I started my career like a long time ago. That was always like the go-to subject line.
I used to use it.
That's over 2 decades old.
Yes, agree. All right. I don't understand LinkedIn InMail. People use it still. I have not.
what about
I
the
never
subject
checked
line,
my
guess who
LinkedIn.
died?
I'd open it.
Is that a real one or just?
I tested
No, it's
out
not.
at a
I just thought of it. But I mean,
in a previous
that
life,
gets your attention.
A previous life, I tested out using the word shit in the subject line, but not the I, like dotting out the I, like and using the word shit as something in the subject line, and got decent response rate. Got some few angry people saying this is very unprofessional.
Yeah, subject line like there was so much blood. ...
All right, here we go. LinkedIn InMail. I don't understand how people are still paying for this. Like,
It's literally like no one
I
sends anyone anything unless it's that's the whole purpose of InMail is spam, right? Like there's
So I don't get LinkedIn InMail. This one I can't stand. Pods. People that use LinkedIn pods for commenting, where if they post something, all of a sudden they've got like 200-300 like likes and people are like commenting. And you look at the people that are commenting. Yeah. I think it's like, you guys know how I feel about cheating in golf. Like,
as someone that didn't put their card away.
Somebody, the card away thing, which I thoroughly destroyed your argument on the card thing, by the way. Just wrong.
Well, you didn't destroy it. You gave me a scenario where it could make sense.
Yeah.
For people not to put their card away.
Job security.
But people that use engagement pods, you got to have it's like, I don't know. I know people that use it, so I'm gonna stop right there and move on to the next one. Did you get my last email?
No.
Okay.
I did.
I did.
I forwarded you guys over this one, but it said like Sue brought up Outworks recently, wanted to reach out. Like who?
There was.
I don't know that.
Similarly, so my buddy Vince over at Hunt Club, they're a competitor of ours. He's a good dude. We met through Sales Assembly. He forwards me an email. Like, is this legit? Like, someone sent him an email saying, Hirewell just like signed 15 clients in the last 7 days using our software. I'm like, I have no idea who this woman is. Like, they're making up case studies of people's competitors thinking. And then, strangely enough, it was a different fake person. I got the same email though. And it didn't say Hunt Club, it said Robert Half. So they just basically spam sales leaders at every recruiting firm, popping in a name of a different competitor with a fake case study.
Somebody's telling that team to do that, though. That's the problem. There's a leader at that company that is a head of sales that everybody's like, this guy's or person, guy, girl, whatever, that's telling all the other people to do it.
Have you talked to any of the owners, by the way, of any of these outreach companies?
No.
Dude, like they know. Like, dude, cold emailed it. They're like, yeah, I know, man. It doesn't work as good. Like they're literally, they know. It's just, it sucks. Like they're selling something that they know doesn't work. And they're selling something that they're in competition with $1 trillion companies. You got Google and you got Microsoft Office. I mean, that's not like David versus Goliath. I mean, that's like David versus Rome. Like you're not going to win. And so anybody that's still trying to do that game that way just doesn't make sense, and you're getting ripped off. So don't do it.
Yeah. Last one. Let's see. Two more. When I do respond back, like somebody every once in a while sends a good message to me, and I may have a question because it's top of mind for what I'm dealing with in the moment. So I'm like, okay, this is timely. It's a good message. I'll respond back. And then I get crickets. Like I ask a question back and they're trying to sell to me and I actually respond back and they don't respond. blows my mind. And obviously it's
because it probably wasn't a real person. It went to the queue of someone else at their client that has to respond and isn't going to even see that for 4 days because they've tuned out this company because the results are so poor. So they only check the inbox once a week.
Yeah. Yep. And the last one, we've talked about some of the other ones in the previous one, but the bumping up this email, don't like that one. I used to use it.
Oh, really? You want to? I'll do that with somebody. Like, hey, man, give this a nudge.
Oh, no. But a cold email, like, or
no.
Yeah,
that's too basic. I mean, give something that's amazing.
Somebody responded. Somebody sent a second email after on the last week. I think I sent it to you guys. Their first one was, name mentioned to you guys. She said that I should reach out to, even though I don't know who the fuck the name was.
You talking about Ava Anderson?
Is that who that was? And then she sent her second email in the sequence was, "Hello, Jared. You're treating this demo request like I asked you to help me move my apartment."
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
No, that's Sarah Jars.
That one infuriated me.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the zero heavy lifting here. No complex setup, unlike that IKEA bookshelf. No learning curve, unlike your current tool. No manual work, unlike your current outreach process. Just AI that schedules meetings. While you sleep, we've implemented 10,000 plus AI agents and saved companies 140,000 plus hours. Our customer set it up in 25 minutes and booked 15 meetings in their first week. Want to see their exact process? Dude.
No.
Who's John talking to right now?
John's on mute. John muted himself.
I did. Yeah.
John, you can't, when you're on a podcast, you can't go on mute because
dude, when I'm having hailstorm here and it's so loud, I'm like trying to protect the pod. But so here's my problem with that type of stuff. She's trying to use humor in something that is like making you wrong. Like that doesn't work, right? It's like somebody that owes you money joking about money. Never fucking funny. The worst way to do it. It's like, dude, you owe me $1,000. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do with $1,000? It's like, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass if I don't get it. That's what we're gonna do here. Don't joke when you owe me money. Like that's the worst thing. And it's the same thing when somebody is doing it oh yeah, I didn't get back to you. Don't joke about me not getting back to you. Give me something that's persuasive or enticing. So total humor fail.
I think that I've tried to do a bunch of tactics in the past. Some stuff worked, some stuff didn't work. Some of the stuff that worked back then is a joke today, and I just don't understand. We talked about that. Like people used to send me emails of the reason you're not. Let me know if the reason you're not responding is 1, you're not interested. 2, it's not the right time. Or
abducted
3,
by aliens.
You're being
attacked by a shark.
Yes,
chased by a bear. It's like okay, yeah, all right, good. Yeah.
Everybody's definition of humor is very different. I think that all three of us have a style of humor where I think we would laugh at stuff that's vulgar and inappropriate versus the cheesy dad joke stuff that most people are sending out because it's business appropriate. Yeah. But it doesn't work.
I think so. There's a play with that though, and it takes some guts where you're going to just kind of cut through. You're going to offend some people and see what happens. Yeah, I like that approach. If you're willing to do it.
I think the problem is most people just aren't funny. Let's be honest. If you're not funny, don't tell jokes. I also believe that.
Yeah, but like the problem is, and listen, I may be that person. Right? I don't know. I mean, some people think I'm funny.
It depends on the audience.
So, yeah, exactly. It definitely depends on the audience. That's the problem with this.
I remember that text you sent from it was like your Facebook update from your Vegas trip.
Oh my God, dude. We shouldn't talk about that. I've gone through every day. You know how Facebook pops up? Well, you guys may not even have Facebook because you're grown-ups. Facebook pops up and it literally says like your memory from. I make sure that I check every one of those memories.
Oh, now I remember what you're talking about. Yeah,
because I have to delete
some things, man.
So many old Facebook
things from.
We're all in the same boat. We've all done it.
Basically every word I ever posted anywhere before 2011 should be permanently deleted.
Yeah, my Tumblr. I would have a Tumblr where I would just say I thought the things were funny. And dude, I saw those and I'm like, oh man, these are
I call that canceled. I call that the Tropic Thunder era of humor. Like that was the last period of time where you could make those jokes and not be the worst person in the world. And we've all moved on. I wanted to, because I promised when we started this one that this is a hard pivot. things we actually believe in with Outbound. And there's two thoughts that I had to kind of wrap a bow on. We can keep talking for a bit, obviously, but we promise this. I don't think I want to make it clear. I'm not saying Outbound is stupid, but I do think instead of building you don't need 30 BDRs, you need 3. Your outreach needs to be much more strategic and focused. And why that specifically, like instead of what's a better use of outbound efforts is going after potential channel partners, referral partners, places where you can get in touch with one person who can be a strategic. It could be a competitor in a different, a non-direct competitor in a different space. For a lot of people, for us, like private equity or venture capital firms, if you're in financial services, like investment advisors, people who know lots of people in the space you're trying to sell to, like having outbound efforts to build relationships with those people, not to sell to them, is a far more better use of outbound efforts. And that's when it actually makes sense to actually send individualized, personalized messages every single time, not this AI garbage.
That is what's working for us right now, is the partner play. Like I'm reaching out cold to people and I'm getting responses and I'm having conversations. And it's not just people that know a lot of those people, but it's also people selling to the same people that I'm selling to. Yep. Like building relationships there, because like you said, like you build enough of those relationships is and I brought this up, like this is the stuff that's going to keep feeding you business in terms of building relationships with your partners for years to come while you're sleeping, because you're building those relationships and you're going to get multiple people sending you. And if you've got a good, strong partner program, like I believe that we do right now, because that's why we're getting referrals from our partners in our partner program. If you've got a good partner program, then that's the best way to do outbound. I agree with that point 100%.
I think I had a call with another guy that sold his agency today that said that. He's like, that's the best way that he built his. And we got a pretty good partner program as well, so I highly agree with that. I think, as I mentioned, outbound works if you have, you're in an emerging market. There's not a whole lot of competition there, especially if you can add some case studies. I think also, too, you can use it for R&D. I don't think enough people do that, like in the sales process, actually figuring out just to get some conversations of like what works and like what doesn't work. And then ultimately, though, if you're a small business owner and your backup is up against the wall, you better get out there and do whatever the hell you can to figure it out. And I think that's ultimately, where some really good outbound can happen.
Yeah. Testing stuff right now. One of the things that I'm testing outbound wise is using video on my outreach. On LinkedIn, I shoot like a quick personalized video, like add some personality to it, and I've gotten some decent responses back to it. It doesn't work for everybody, but if somebody sends me a video that looks like they just shot in the backyard or they're on their phone to me, I'll listen to the video at least and see.
Anybody that shoots a video and says I don't ever look at it, like the looms and all that stuff. I'm not gonna watch a video.
Just a video like on your phone that somebody sends to you. It's not a loom. It's not, you don't have to click on.
Are you emailing it to me?
No, I'm sending it via Messenger on LinkedIn. I'm connected to you.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. That might work.
So, here's what we should do. Jared, send John a video message and see if he watches it or not.
It's just more work. Like I gotta open this thing, and then I
agree. That's why we're testing it. Again,
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not the person that watches those videos. Like, hey man, I got all these recommendations for you. I created this video. I was like, yeah, that's easier for you because of you're grammatically challenged, you asshole. I don't want to watch your video.
You're testing. See, test the result. You just got your feedback you needed there, Jared.
From John. John's not my buyer today.
No,
he's a partner. John's a partner.
I am. I highly recommend Outworks. I do. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a toilet so clean in my life. But if you're going to send outbound, I mean, I highly recommend just send the messages. Don't send me videos.
I've never seen a toilet so clean.
Let's wrap it right there. I think that's a perfect ending spot. That's a wrap for episode 20 of the Business is Bullshit podcast. Catch us on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube. James Hornick, Jared Gibson, Jon Tsourakis signing off, reminding you that business is bullshit.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.